For TraderInsight.com, I'm Adrian Manns, and today we're going to talk about how to set up your day trading software to maximize your screen real estate and computing power. I got a lot of emails from people after we did the Day Trading for a Living video asking about our setup, asking whether or not you need all those monitors and all that computing horsepower to run a day trading operation. Short answer is no. You can do it on virtually any number of screens. Of course, we've got lots and lots of screen real estate in our office, but we run the war room. We do a lot of analysis for our subscribers. Generally speaking, no matter what you have available to you, there's a way to make it work, so that's what we're going to look at in this video today. Lots of monitors, lots of screen space, lots of real estate to work with the markets in that picture. Let's drill down and take a look at what I think are sort of the core requirements if you're trading from one screen, from two screens, three screens, that kind of thing. So what we have here is just the very first screen that I'm looking at for every stock. It contains all the information necessary to trade a particular symbol, and we see in this case that it is CSC from the nightly trading plan. This window right here is the level 2 screen and the order entry screen for that particular stock. So this is where I do my order entry when I'm not using my order entry keyboard. Then we have a chart, and as we see on the chart, there's a bunch of lines drawn. Now these lines correspond exactly to the trading plan. So let's have a look at that very quickly. We see here on the plan that the entry and the initial profit target, as well as a stop loss and 50% to target levels, are identified clearly. And then moving back to the chart, we see that these levels are identified once again here. So we've got the entry, the 50% to target level, and the initial target. Now the software that I'm using is called Realtik. There's a variety of software out there that you might be using. Could be TradeStation, could be Metastock, could be any number of things. Realtik and TradeStation, of course, are sort of the powerhouses when it comes to order entry. Realtik is more of a pro platform. TradeStation is targeting retail customers as well, but both are available to everybody. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to pay. Down here we see another sort of level 2 type screen. This is actually the New York Stock Exchange Open Book. So that's a little bit different. If you trade a lot of New York Stock Exchange stuff the way that I do, then the Open Book is a very good investment, because what it does is lets you see over the specialist's shoulder and sort of see what exactly is happening on his book. A separate time and sales set up, as you can see from the ticker that's on the side of the level 2 screen. These, believe it or not, are not always perfectly in sync, but this piece of information down here is very important to me. I want to see what exchanges something is printing on over the course of the session. I want to see where size is going off. I want to see if a lot of sweep orders are happening. And then I also have a 25 tick chart, which I use in determining how to set trailing stops once I've achieved objectives. And of course, for the scalps that you guys all watch, the stocks and sectors on the radar, I'm using 25 tick data to establish levels of support and resistance that are going to be suitable to use as stop losses. So we use a lot of 25 tick data. We use 5-minute data to actually enter and exit the trade. We also have a Minder window. This is going to give us the ability to look at other stocks that are on our interest list, and also a news window, which gives us an alert or a heads up if there's any kind of weird activity in the on the news wires that pertains to the stock that's in this level 2 window. So in our case, our secondary monitor would be quite a bit larger than the first. There's a 30-inch display, but you could do this all the way down into a 20-inch display pretty easily. It's just all the charts of all the setups that I'm going to be watching for the day. What I look at, the black charts, these are the around the horn planned trades. Got an entry, got a 50% to target, got a stop. Might have these set up to auto-execute right on these lines, or I might just be watching these for entry cues, let me know when it's time to take a trade. The second row that I have are the stocks to watch setups. So these are always going to be in red on my monitors. I've always got 3 stocks on the stocks to watch list, and here we've got the radar selections, right? Stocks and sectors on the radar. You guys listen to these every night. This is how I set them up. Got an entry, 50% to target. So basically what the lines allow me to do is handle a lot of information, because as we see, a lot of these things triggered very early in the session. lets me get these things organized and lets me know what it is that I want to do with any particular stock just by taking a glance at where things are relative to the lines that I've drawn, so that I can keep things orderly and execute them in my own trading account, as well as alerting you guys who are in the war room to what's going on. Now let's say you're like me and you think there's no such thing as information overload, or you think that too much information is a good thing. You don't have to be watching every single thing at every moment, of course. We've got on this screen the major averages. I watch the Dow Jones Industrials and I watch the S&P Futures. We've also got the NYSE Tick and the NYSE Trend. We'll talk about how to use those in a later lesson. Then we see that I've got all the indices, right? Every night you hear me talking in stocks and sectors on the radar, I say I won't even consider taking one of these trades if the price action in the index that it's correlated to doesn't support the decision that I'm about to make. Now, that's not true for the around-the-horn intraday trading plan stocks. Those trades are just on when they're on. I do have those indices up here as well because I like to see what's going on in terms of possibly taking some correlated positions in other stocks. So I always have the relevant indices for each one of the setups color-coded up here in the same way that they were on the second screen that we looked at. So we see the around-the-horn setups are here in black, stocks to watch in red. The blue ones are the radar selections, and then I've got this extra one here just in case something comes up intraday. But this lets me see what's going on in the broader market as well as in the subsectors, and lets me find my way to opportunities over the course of the trading day. So now let's talk about screen number 4. If you're lucky enough to have 4 screens, a lot of traders do like to trade from a quad kind of a setup. In my case, what I've got on screen number 4 is a watch list. I generate this from the information that Realtek feeds me over the course of the day as far as stocks that are in play, stocks that are moving. I keep those segregated on a list, an active list that I just flip through, and I'm looking for some of those patterns from around the horn, a trader's guide to consistently scoring in the markets, trying to find them intraday, trying to see setups in real time and find opportunities for scalps. If I do find something, right away I look at that GIC, which is the 5th column on this Market Minder window. In the case of EXC, I see that that's an electric utility. The utility subsector code, of course, is $UTY.X. I'll pull that up on the index charts. If there's activity, see if the index supports the idea that I have in terms of making a trade. And then I will go and pull this over into one of my market maker windows and make the decision about whether or not to pull the trigger. But we see here there's a rather long list every day of stocks that I'm watching, stocks that I'm just sort of flipping through to see if I can find something that's of interest to me. That list is dynamic, changes over the course of the day. Right now we've got nothing open, nothing on, as we see in the Minder window right below that, the current open positions. If I had an open position, I probably wouldn't be recording this for you folks to listen to. I'd be watching what I'm doing. Down below that, I've got some market internal data. This is the stuff that I follow, just what's going on the Dow, how many advancers, how many decliners, what's the total volume, and what's the advance decline ratio. I consider that all very important. Lets me get a feel for what's going on in the market, put some color in what's happening. And then this window provides me with status on any open orders that I may have just placed. As I'm sure you guys saw at the beginning of the video, I do have 3 additional screens open, and I just want to show you here that all that I'm doing in 2 of the remaining screens is more information about individual stocks. So this goes back to that stock setup screen number 1 that we looked at. Each additional screen that I have set up is going to give me the ability to follow level 2 information, a ticker tape, a time of sales window, another New York Stock Exchange open book window when I'm trading a NYSE security. It's got another Market Minder list. It's got the 25 tick chart, all the same stuff that we saw in that first window. So I'm just going to add the ability to watch more stocks all at the same time. Again, those of you who might be thinking, well, how do you follow all this stuff? You know, I might just have this open and set up a conditional order for the stock in the window, let the machine do the work for me. I still like to have as many monitors as possible to view this data over the course of the day. The final window, I'm not going to show you. That one displays proprietary information that is part of the around the horn strategy. We use that in the war room to generate additional trades over the course of the session. Those of you who are familiar with what we do in there know that we call out some scalps that we're going to be entering and provide information about stocks on the move, things to add to your own watch list. We won't look at that one here. Then you will have it, our complete trading setup as you've seen it in some of the videos before. I hope that answers any questions you might have. If not, shoot me an email, Adrian@traderinsight.com. Use protective stops on every trade, and we'll see you in the war room.